is I have to talk about a management principle which says, be a good listener, encourage others to talk about themselves, and show personal interest. Now, I was thinking about that the very need of this advice indicates that there is something wrong with our process of listening. And that's why I made a small research on communication and listening itself, because I believe that solving a problem is always beginning with examining and understanding this particular problem. Now, I think to understand this problem of listening, we have to dig a bit into mass communications, which sort of transformed our listening in the last 20, 30 years, and our listening process underwent thus basic changes. Here let me quote Marshall McLuhan in his study Understanding Media, where he says, "When receivers are flooded with large quantities of informations, reaching them through different channels at the same time in the same format, then this type of information hardly has any weight. What counts is only the never-ending, monotonous bombarding of the media, in which the various contents level up and lose their differences. Or shortly, the medium itself becomes the message." And the words themselves are becoming a sort of background noise. Instead of memorizing and interpreting the words, we are just listening to the noise in mass media. While I am not here to tell if this is positive or negative, it is definitely a change, and it affects the whole society, but I am sure, and I dare to say that, if we let this attitude, this sort of frustration and sort of ignorance affect and really infiltrate into our everyday verbal communications, then we will have serious problems. And it is actually coming to our everyday communications. The probably most quoted and most transparent example of this is when two people meet on the street and the words they exchange is about, how are you fine, goodbye, goodbye, which is not a conversation. It is the mere maintenance of a certain communication channel, and you must not let this happen with you. In the hospitality industry especially, you will have to do with mostly with people of lower education levels than you, which means it will require a lot of patience and even more respect on your side to be able to really listen to them. You have to be interested in them, and you have to show your interest. Without being indiscreet, you will need to actually show an awareness of their situation, to show that you know who they are and what problems they have, and you are trying to help them. And also, there are two things, very frustrating and very annoying, which people of higher education level tend to do when they are in contact with people who were not as fortunate to receive such an education level. And those two things are interrupting them and finishing thoughts instead of them when they start. Now, this is something you never are allowed to do. If you do not interrupt them and let them express themselves, they will, on the one hand, be more and more able to express their opinions, and on the other hand, they will feel respect and give respect in return, which is very important, I think. So, you have to know your people, you have to be interested in them, and you really have to catch their words, seize the words, not just let them float around you. You have to be there 100% and memorize and interpret and really catch those words, what they say, even if they seem to be not as interesting as someone else, and even if you are in a hurry. The other very important thing is, if you are listening to people, you have to listen always. Not only when you feel like it, but you have to be consistently interested. You have to be very strict on this, because if sometimes you listen and sometimes you just run away because you don't feel like it, this will cause an incredible frustration among your people. And finally, I would like to mention that communication as such is a two-way process. In order to be able to listen, really, you have to improve your own output, your own talking process. I would suggest, and I think this applies for most of us, that we could start to talk less but communicate more, always with the receiver in our mind. We shall not rob other people's time unnecessarily. We shall rather try to transmit informations, and we always have to have this in our minds. And I think if we are able to talk more efficiently, and if we are able to really say something, if we open our mouths, then others will feel this, and in return they will talk things we can easily listen to. And if we can achieve that, this means a quality improvement of our everyday verbal communications, which is one of the most important management tasks now, and I am absolutely positive that it is even going to be more and more important in the future. If you have any questions, I would be more than happy to answer them. Next question.
Don't you think that we are talking just because we like it? So that's not a big thing that we can talk about.
We most certainly do in our private lives, but not in business. I mean, it is nice to talk with others in terms of easing tensions, but really unnecessary talks can be awfully frustrating if you do it in business too frequently.
And how do you handle that? These unnecessary talks?
Well, I think about the only way to handle them is showing an example of not talking unnecessarily, and if you are able to fulfill this condition consequently, then I think that other people will feel this, and in return talk, not talk unnecessarily to you. Yes?
I think that in the hospitality industry, as you work with guests, with people coming to a hotel, you can't avoid listening to others talking about things you may find unnecessary things. So when you must listen to guests as well, you have to hear their problems, and maybe they are talking too much. You might consider it too much.
Well, the other thing I mentioned, I will interrupt, so you have to listen to them. I never said don't listen to them. I only said that you shall not talk unnecessarily. They are the guest, and the guest is the king. And you have to listen to others and not interrupt them under any condition. That's what I said.
So I would like to welcome everyone. My topic of today is the organizational chart of a large hotel, the internal and the external relationships relating to this hotel. First of all, I'll give you handouts with this very well-known hotel organization chart, which is in the book, in case you don't have the book here. And I would like to give a definition of an organizational chart, which is a diagram which diagrams the divisions of responsibility and lines of authority in the hotel. This is a very special thing because in each hotel there is an individual organization chart, because this is structured to the specific tasks and objectives to this specific hotel. This is a formal structure to carry out their missions and objectives that I mentioned. So it is very important in order to have hotel working well and effective. I will mention the main divisions and departments of the hotel according to this organizational chart. I will describe the reporting and responsibility connections in between them. And I will talk about some of the main background issues of this organizational chart. How can the reporting relationships work properly? First of all, I will go through the organizational chart. The very head of the organization is the board of directors, which is the representative of the shareholders, and this is the main part where which delegates the general manager, which is the first man in the hotel, and the general manager is the one who's reporting to the board of directors. In a hotel this size, there is besides the general manager, there is a resident manager who is dealing with the resident goals and objectives, so residents' problems of the hotel, so the everyday business problems. There are two very good parts, or two very big parts of the hotel. I could say the revenue and the cost center of the hotel, which is very important because the revenue center comes from the name, makes the revenue for the hotel. And the cost center, other name is the supporting areas. They are the areas who supports everything to the revenue centers. Other separation can be front of the house, back of the house. It can be which department has to deal with the guest or has some supporting functions. Now I will go through the divisions. First of all, the biggest, one of the biggest divisions is the room division management, rooms division, where the main task is providing service, and the parts are front office, the housekeeping, and according to this organization chart, the garage management as well. The two most important is the front office and the housekeeping. Front office is the classical front of the house department. The functions are the reservation and night management and the duty management of the hotel, as well as in the housekeeping. So these two departments have a very vital reporting line in between them, because a hotel cannot operate between the front office and housekeeping and the very close relationship between these two. The well, the garage is good if it's there, but it's not that important. The second biggest, or in some properties the biggest, is the food and beverage department. This is the major revenue center, so it brings the biggest amount of money to the hotel. There can be several outlets in the hotel, as the restaurant, the bar, the room service, coffee shop as well. This is very important because this department needs very huge support areas, like the purchasing departments and proper information on the hotel guests, the number of them, the how many people are coming to breakfast, and so on. The third most important department, I think, is the marketing and the sales department, which their task is to, well, to sell the hotel, sell all the rooms, or as many rooms as possible, and sell all the services the hotel has. The marketing and sales division has several departments, like the sales, the public relations, and the convention service if there is in the hotel, which is also very important because a convention can make a huge revenue. And the public relation is also very important. On one hand, because of advertising of the hotel, so make people know about the hotel, and the other is to define the guest's needs, which is very important to in order to have personalized and first-class service in the hotel. And the sales department is has the importance what I mentioned, that they just have to sell all the rooms they can sell. There are a very important department, which is the controlling department or division, which has the task of purchasing and auditing the hotel, which is also very important because of the reporting and supporting areas. Like this division handles all the financial and sales data of the hotel, which is very important, first of all for the sales department and as well as to the management to be able to measure the occupancy, and the effectiveness of the hotel. Other departments as the maintenance, the security and the human resource departments, which are also very important. The human resource is a special department because they have a relationship with all the other departments, because they have to organize the training, recruiting and all the employee problems. Just because they have to have the employees work properly and give their best. So this is why they are organizing trainings or special trainings for special tasks, or maybe a training for new employees and so on. The maintenance department has a strong relationship with the housekeeping, because the housekeeping task is to clean the rooms, to get the rooms ready for being able to sell them, and the housekeeping is detecting all the problems in every room. So if there are problems with, I don't know, with the air conditioner or with the TV set, the maintenance is there to repair or to replace them. There is the first information flow in the hotel is in between the managers, board of directors, general manager and the residence manager, and the general manager and the residence manager are the two people who divide all the information and collect all the information from the department. That is very important by organizing the organizational chart, by designing this chart, that this chart has to be well structured, and it has to be so structured that everyone can look all the details one by one. So the supervisory system and all the responsibility and authority systems has to be well and pre-written, because it needs very much of responsibility for the management to be able to control all the departments of the hotel. So the reporting lines are also very well described in a proper working hotel, and this makes the departments to be able to work in teamwork. They can work together. They know what they have to do. They know what, to whom they have to report and to whom they have responsibility. In order to have this reporting system working well, there is a huge need for it, and nowadays, for 50 years there was a huge need for that, but there was no technical possibilities in order to have that. So the technical background is very important. Nowadays, every big hotels have a computerized system, which includes the sales, all the purchases, and all the information related to the room revision. So all the rooms and the housekeeping and the front office information are on this system. And another important thing is the computer system between the chain members. If we have, so let's see the Hyatt or the Marriott or the big chains, because the personalized and the first-class service needs guest histories, and in all the properties they have to have this information related to the guests. Another reporting, what I mentioned already, the general management and the board, which needs the business results and the shareholders as well. So I'll finish here. If you have questions, please feel free to ask.
Thomas,